the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final race in the round of 8. Tonight, we will decide who our Championship 4 contenders are, and your vote does not count. How y'all doing tonight? Thank you very much for joining me. My name is KR Stolfus, and I am here at Talladega's OP Racing Premier Super Speedway Series, presented by Weber Graphics. Gets ready to roll out for qualifying here in the final race of this round of 8. And in the booth with me, I have Zach Fritchie, who is fresh off a win. Zach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, KR. Like you said, I just came fresh out of a win Saturday night, and I feel great.
We also have Peter, the Cyborg, the Borgia. How you doing tonight? Our number cruncher and all that.
I'm doing great. I'm just honored to be here with Saturday's race winner. Just needs 7 more, great races the rest of this season to really put together this championship. I'm just really privileged to share the booth with that race winner, KR.
I did win a race.
About yourself a little bit, man.
I did. I got my car running right that I run in real life and scored a win. Celebrated with Zach in that little deal there, and heck yeah.
That's so awesome.
Feels great to be winners.
It does. I'm sitting second in the point standing, so I've got a good shot at the championship this year, but a lot of racing still to go. But that's not the case here for OP Racing. We're down to just 2 races left this season, and it is down to crunch time.
Yes, very well indeed it is. We got, like you said, 8 drivers into this last race for the cutoff, and right now, looking at the point standings, and Pete will be able to tell you more about it, we actually have a tie for the cutoff driving spot right now between Casey Gilchrist and Logan Helton. They are actually tied in the point standings, so it's going to be a crazy one tonight.
I'm actually not looking for craziness from either of those 2 guys. Those 2 guys, I think, are going to be trying to play it safe. They're going to be scoreboard watching, keeping an eye on these guys below them, because Robert Duvendak 4 points back of the cutoff, Travis Elliott 8 points back from the cutoff, and Rick Seabrand 16 points back from the cutoff. Their agendas are very different. They're going to be really aggressive. They're going to be trying to score as many stage points as possible to see at the end of stage 2, okay, do we have to win or go home? Are we going to be super duper aggressive here? I think a few of the guys at the front are playing it safe a little bit early, but those 3 guys at the back are going to be the ones for me to watch.
Hunter Reynolds is starting to roll out for his qualifying time. Hunter Reynolds does have a unique statistic in that he has 3 poles so far this season. He is leading almost all of our championship contenders, except for one other person. That's Logan Helton.
Yes, indeed. With this race tonight, with the pole position, remember you get 1 bonus point as well for earning this pole. And as of right now, we have Josh Milan in the number 7. We have by 0.02 of a second above Derek Conley.
The qualifying here is so interesting too, because it's not like in real life. It's kind of like, okay, the teams that have the best engines, they're going to dominate the first couple rows. These guys are all in the same setup. It's really just comes right down to the driver skill. Are they really maximizing every single tiny inch of that track to get the maximum speed before their hot lap starts? And you see the cream rise to the crop. You see the cream rise to the top a bunch of times. The same drivers over and over again, quite possibly getting the pole here.
Casey Gilchrist in the 13 on his qualifying run, his first lap done, or his qualifying is done. He's done his 2 laps, finds himself in 14th spot. And I gotta say, Casey, being a rookie with the OP Premier Super Speedway Series, putting in a heck of a show for this rookie.
And actually, believe it or not, yeah, I think you were right the first time when you said qualifying lap. It's like, I don't know if it was an error, but there has been talks amongst the group if we are switching to 1 qualifying lap or 2 qualifying lap. Looking at the race details tonight, it looks like all of them are qualifying on only 1 lap tonight. So this probably put some hurt into a couple of these chase drivers, not knowing that it might have been 2 or not.
It does put a sense of urgency too there as well, because it makes that first lap so much more important, that pit exit. Talladega not nearly as punishing as like Legacy Daytona or regular Daytona with trying to make your way around turn 1. These cars we're driving the Xfinity cars here. They're a bit heavier. They're a little bit harder to wheel around there at top speed. So getting the perfect exit there right when you get to that blue cone, as you see Logan Helton taking his qualifying lap here, is really, really, really important, but especially important with only 1 qualifying lap.
One of our championship contenders not making a move for qualifying just yet, and with the time ticking down, I'm beginning to wonder if the driver of the 4 machine, Rick Seabrand, who is in a sort of must-win situation. Peter, you have the breakdown, and you said before we went live, he's in a must-win unless he can really score good points throughout the stages.
Yeah, 16 points down here. If he gambles on pit strategy and steals a stage where most of the other guys in front of him don't, he can leapfrog them and be in a good spot where he might not have to be in a must-win situation. But look at this guy. There's only 25 cars in this field tonight. Are these guys all realistically all going to miss the top 10 of stage 1 and stage 2? I mean, Rick might win both stages, but can we really expect everyone else to get 0? I doubt it. So I expect him to be really aggressive, but we'll see where the chips land after lap 50.
But not only do we expect the number 4, but you guys got to keep in mind, remember the last time before we went on break, Rick ended up having to getting involved in both wrecks, lost his car both times, even after the fast repair, and just ended up ruining his chances for the end of that night. So maybe this is all part of strategy. Maybe he wants to start in the back. Maybe he doesn't want to be involved in any early nonsense, any accidents or anything. Maybe he wants to avoid all that and try to see if he can get it done later on in the race.
I don't know, man. 1 week before that, I remember a little different story from a guy who needed a win, and we were saying not to tug on Superman's cape. So I don't know. I think we're going to see the same old Rick run near the front when he needs to here. I don't think he's going to play it super safe. I don't think he's going to be putting all of his eggs in the 3rd stage basket. I think he's going to definitely make his way to the front here. He's got a good team behind him to help him out. And, one of his teammates, Logan Helton, is definitely right there worried about the points as well. But I could see Rick being a little more aggressive at the beginning here. And then if he has to use his fast repair, then playing it safe.
Well, I'll tell you, Sean Stevens, sitting 3rd in his qualifying effort here, brings up a very good point, though. We do have 25 drivers. Of these 25 drivers, only 8 drivers are going for the championship. Odds are, in the numbers, that we may have a non-championship driver win this race.
Yeah, and I agree with that, KR. When I went and talked to most of these teams right before a race, every single one of them said the same thing. They're here to win it. They're not here to sit there and dilly-dally. They're there to win it. I mean, if they need to push it three wide, they even said if they want to push it 3 wide in the 4th lap, they're going to push it 3 wide in the 4th lap because they will really want this win here. They want to mess up some of these trace drivers that are in contention of trying to get to the Final 4.
Well, it's not just that. 2 weeks ago, we had a non-chaser win. That's why we got nobody locked into the next round yet. Ernie Williams, 11 points to the good. He didn't win the race. He's the points leader right now, but that's not guaranteed. It's not even guaranteed he'll be top 4 by the end of this thing. Mark Mann spoiled the show last time around. And we still have 8 guys fighting for 4 spots. No one's guaranteed their the finale just yet.
All right, so with that being said, guys, we are going to step away for the national anthem, and we'll be back with tonight's starting lineup for the final race in the round of 8.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our drivers are taking to the grid, and that means it is time to bring out tonight's starting lineup. On the inside of row number 1, with another pole going to his credit, that is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds from Fuel Sim Racing. On his outside, Alliance Motorsports driver in the 63, Logan the Kid Hilton. Row number 2 going to be made up of the 27 of Sean Stevens, representing Buck Wild Racing. On his outside, the 7 of Josh Milam. Row number 3 going to be made up of the 28 of Derek Conley and the 04 of Mark Mann. Row 4, Jimmy Reynolds in the 17 machine and the 24 of Tyler Miller. Row number 5, Robert Duvendak in the 12 and the 18 of Mark Vega.
Row number 6, we got the Dave row. The Dave Hunt, a 53 on the inside. David Booth, the 77 on the outside. Row number 7, we got 95 of James Mayer and chase contender Ernie Williams to his outside. Row number 7, we have Daniel Holloway, the 21, and Les Levy of the 62 on the outside. Row number 8, we have the 71 of Sean McCara and Randall Cobb, 52 on his outside. And row number 10, 13, Casey Gilchrist, and then the 46 is David Overstreet on the outside.
In row 11, you got chase competitor Travis Elliott in the new paint scheme this week, 51 Ford Performance. Next to him, you got Bob Lacavera in the familiar Convergent Camaro. Back in row number 12, Aspen Belvin in the 84. Next to him, chase competitor Rick Seabrands, bringing up the last spot on the outside. And then bring up the rear of the field, Demon Tech 82, Twitch/YouTube/Facebook streaming sponsored Camaro of Dan Harrington.
That is our starting lineup here tonight. Quite the field. Our championship contenders are spread all throughout, but you can't win this race on lap number 1. It's gonna be a hot minute before we get to the end of this one. So here we go. Hunter Reynolds in the Reynolds wrap machine. On the inside, he is going to lead Logan Hilton to the green flag. Someone has got to win this race, and we got to get through all 84 laps here tonight. 3 stages coming your way. Stage number 1 going to end at the completion of lap 20. Stage points being very important to some of these guys. We will see how this all plays out as we get ready to let them loose and start this final race in the round of 8 before our championship run next week at Daytona. Dramatic pause, and the green flag is out. Here we go once again 2 races remain in this season. 4 drivers going to have a shot at making the championship. Which 4 is it going to be here tonight as they head off into turn number 1?
Yeah, they're coming around the backstretch now. It looks like Hunter Reynolds was able to take a good advantage on that inside with Sean Stevens behind him. We got a notorious 18 Mark Vega. He's once again peeking on this outside of Talladega. You're going to see tons of 3-wide action tonight, especially with these lines. You know, it's easy to maneuver with these 3-wide action, as you just seen. Mark Vega now up to the top line on turn number 3.
Let's see if anyone goes with them here, because this is a track, unlike the Daytonas, that you can really drive 3 wide here pretty easily. You don't have to worry about the bumps. You don't have to worry about the lines not being there. It's pretty easy, but Mark falls back in line. Let's see if anyone tries to short pit this stage here. You got a bunch of Rapid Heat Racing guys that started all on the bottom, but the FSR guys seem a little bit more scattered. Some people try to shortcut that window. You can start seeing them position themselves in the bottom, because we got a pit from the bottom lane in the series.
We do have one car up in the 3rd lane all by himself. Now he's going to tuck in line there. That is the 18 of Mark Vega. He's just trying to knock the marbles down, getting that lane warmed up here very early. Talladega has lots of room for 3-wide racing, even 4-wide. I wouldn't be surprised if someone really in a desperate situation tries to force it 5-wide.
Yes, very well indeed. It looks like on the rear of the pack, we got, I'd say maybe a 10-car length separation between Randall Cobb, Bob Lacavera, and Rick Seabrands, our chase contender, and all the way in the very back, away from this lead pack right now.
That might just be playing it safe, like you guys are saying. That's what Rick might be doing. He knows he's got a guaranteed caution. If he's back there with somebody else, he's not going to lose enough time to lose the lap by the time the stage ends, but I think that's kind of punting away the opportunity at 10 points. We'll see what happens here.
Riding on board with the 4 of Rick Seabrands, not pushing too hard on the 5 of Bob Lacavera. And, you know, I'm not getting a real sense of urgency out of this 4 machine, and thinking maybe he's just going to play it cool this race and try and be there at the end.
Yes, that's exactly what I feel like is going to happen as well. Now, as we look towards the front, looks like Josh Milam came down in front of Hunter Reynolds, and then even Logan Helton came down as well. So now you got Josh Milam leading that inside lane with Mark Mann on the outside.
That's a lap led there for another chase competitor there. So Hunter Reynolds and Josh Milam both leading laps so far here, getting that extra bonus point for Fuel Sim Racing. But Logan Helton jumps back up in front of his teammate there, Mark Mann. Looks like he's going to try and lead a lap too.
Mark Mann giving a shot to the 63 there, trying to propel him to the front. Mark Mann eliminated from the championship contention. But, man, I'll tell you what, he'd be a teammate I'd love to have behind me. He is all for the team when he doesn't have a shot at a championship. But he's still going to try and get that win. Don't think that 04 is sitting back there just playing second fiddle.
Yeah, very well indeed. As I'm looking to see, most of these cars are already going down on the inside lane, except for the Daniel Hallway. Mark Vega still up there at that top lane, third lane, trying to make something happen. Well, it looks like Daniel actually is going to come down, fall right behind his teammates with Mark Mann and Logan Helton.
That puts 3 Alliance Motorsports cars right there in a row working together on the outside. 2 FSR cars at the front there working on the inside. We'll see if they're able to close the gap here, or if you're going to keep letting the 26 and the 7 dictate the pace.
So Holloway tucked in, another driver eliminated from contention. And here we go. Some very early pit stops coming this way.
Yeah, well, indeed. It looks like wasn't too much of the locking of the brakes there. Looks like mostly all the Empire and FSR team was all involved in that pit strategy.
Yeah, they're unlike the actual Alliance Motorsports. These 2 teams are known to be pretty aligned there and work well with one another. A lot of them intermingle with others in the feeder series to this one. So no doubt that was completely planned that both of those teams are going to drop down at the exact same instant and work themselves to the bottom line before it happened.
We have seen it play out this way quite often, where the first group of drivers to hit pit lane does have all the momentum on their side. A lot of big numbers in this group. And here comes an even larger group this time. This one led by Logan Helton in the 63. 4 drivers are going to stay out: Mark Vega, Les Levy, David Overstreet, and David Booth.
It looks like a little bit tire smoke from Mark, man. Otherwise, great job from the first pit cycle and the second pit cycle of all these drivers getting into pit road. It looks like everybody got it in safely, not hitting each other. You know, very rarely any tire smoke coming from any of these guys, which is awesome to see for both of these, all these drivers, should I say, here in this race tonight.
And of the 4 that stayed out, we have no championship contenders among them. But by Logan and company staying out an extra lap, he was able to lead a lap now. So now we've got 3 chase contenders with a point to their credit, and they were 3 of the 4 that were already to the good. So we're going to see if they can stretch the lead here by the end of stage 1.
Checkered Flag Motorsports working together here as they are the 4 drivers who have not pitted. And I can tell you, strategies are one thing, cautions are what ruin strategies no matter what. So we'll see how this all plays out. These 4 drivers running nose to tail. They're not fighting each other, and they're all trying to work together. So things could play out in their favor. I know we mentioned how being the first group on the pit road tends to give you the lead. These guys are looking like they're going to play the long game. They're going to try and run this out and see if they can catch a caution.
Yep. Now, as we go back to the first pit cycle group, got a huge advantage from the second pit cycle group. It looks like they're about 10, maybe 12 car lengths away from the second pit cycle as Logan Helton's leading that second group, and he's trying to make their way back on the draft. But Hunter Reynolds and the FSR and a couple of the Empire team, they just flew right past that second pit cycle group.
I'm watching this lead pack of 4 cars here because I want to see what they're trying to do fuel-wise. Are they trying to lift a little bit here? Are they trying to play it safe? And as you look on their lap times here, it doesn't look like Mark Vega's laps have really slowed down much. It doesn't look like Les Levy's laps have slowed down all that much. So I don't know if they're really saving fuel out there. It looks like they're still pushing and pushing and pushing. And I don't know if they're hoping for a caution or not, because then it kind of puts everyone back at the same spot and they have to pit and everyone else will stay out. But they're out there leading right now. I don't know if what the strategy is as far as fuel goes, but not surprised to see that 46 car there, though. He always drives until it's empty.
I do want to say that business picked up a little bit for some of these guys deeper in the field. Casey Gilchrist setting the fastest lap of the race, and in this group, everyone's setting their fastest lap so far as well. So this group that has made a pit stop, they are hard on the throttle and they're closing up very quickly. We're going to have a big pack here in this second group of drivers.
Yep, as you guys already seen there, Josh Milan stuck it out on the outside with Tyler Miller, was able to get around Hunter Reynolds, and now he's taking the advantage over the cars that have been pitted already.
Yeah, and you can see the battle really starting to heat up there, because they realize that's where the stage points are going to get handed out. It's not so much that top 4. I want to make sure that I'm 5th right now, so that when those guys drop down, I'm in the pole position for 10 extra points. You can see the stage guys are really starting to rise to the top there. Like, those are the guys who are really concerned about those points there. It's not like early in the race where we saw a lot of the guys outside the chase trying to take a 3 wide or maybe make an aggressive move there. Nope, you've got the 7, the 26, the 63. They know when it's feeding time, they want to be first in line to get those stage points.
Fastest lap of the race now going to Travis Elliott in the 51. So these guys are really pushing hard, and this is showing a little bit of that sense of urgency, in that everyone is trying to put themselves in the best possible position to gain as many points as they can. Mark Vega, Les Levy, David Overstreet, David Booth out of championship contention. That doesn't mean that they are out of a shot at winning this race.
Well, I'm looking at the standings right now, and I don't know what happened to Dan Harrington of the 82, but he's actually looking a lap down right now as Mark Vega and those 4 cars on the inside just passed him, and so now he's going to be catching up with them, but he does appear a lap down, actually 2 laps down now on the standings.
It had to be a pit penalty of some kind there. Let's keep an eye on that, see if he's able to hang out there at the pack. Doesn't look like his car is damaged. I don't know if that's what happened. We didn't hear anything about pit stops not being clean there, but he might have got a speeding penalty or something.
He did have to come down pit road additional time, so I'm not 100% sure what happened to the 82 on that yet. Cody Eldred, our race control and pit reporter, will chime in from time to time, so we wait with anxious ears to hear what happened to the 82.
As you can see here, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds took over that inside lane. These guys are battling back and forth. I mean, they're even teammates. Josh Milam and Hunter Reynolds here, they're just going back and forth for that lead position after for all these guys that have pitted, as we're still waiting on the 18 Mark Vega and Checkered Flag team to run their pit cycle still.
I think that was super calculated, though. I don't think that was an aggressive move from Josh to try and get around Hunter. I think that what this allows them to do, the FSR guys, kind of dictate the pace here. Josh moved up because he knew he had all those Empire guys right in a row as well. So he's up there to help those guys out. He knows they're not going to try and mess with him. I don't even know if he's going to jump down in front of the 20. Oh, as I say it, he does. But they've got so many cars up there now. They've got 3 cars on the outside line and 2 cars on the inside. If we're assuming that Empire and FSR are working together tonight, it's going to be really tricky to break them up. But the 04 and the 63 are certainly trying.
Mark Vega, David Booth, and Les Levy do hit pit road this time, so they are making their pit stops. Tyler Miller gonna blow right on by them as they made their stop. So all the drivers who pitted early easily making their way around our late pit stops.
Now that the pit cycle has ended for all these drivers, as we look here at the top 10, we got 5 chase contending drivers in the top 10 looking to try to get some stage points here in the next 6 laps.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because you look back a little bit further, you see 16th, 17th, 22nd, you see Travis Elliott, Ernie Williams, Rick Seabrand. Ernie Williams, I'm not super surprised about. He's 11 points to the good, doesn't need to get mixed up in anything here, just needs to have a clean race, and he's probably in. I would have thought Travis and Rick would have been trying to get more. We talked about Rick earlier, and he's doing his thing back there. He's, well behind the main pack, but Travis Elliott's only 8 points out. I would have thought that he would have taken a little bit more aggressive line here at the beginning. We'll see what happens here when they come down lap 25.
Checking in on the 4 of Rick Seabrands. He is out in front of Randall Cobb, a 2-car draft group here. And he's got plenty of room between him and the first few groups there. So he's just looking for a clean first stage.
Well, it looks like say no more for this Vapid Yeet team, as Casey Gilchrist went for a second. Sean McCarroll was up there, but he's back down now. But Casey now looking to the top lane to try to see if he can make his way up there to get some stage points with TJ Elliott right behind him.
Yeah, that third line works out really well, and I know those guys like to use it a bit. And Aspen Belvin right there behind him, another teammate of theirs. Once they clear, I wouldn't be shocked if the 71 moves up there, but it looks like this middle line's getting a little swirly. Robert Duvendak's not quite certain if he wants to go up and block or not. Looks like he's going to stay down here. Let's see if Derek does the same thing as the 13 really starts to move up.
Casey Gilchrist using that high, wide, and handsome line, and Ernie Williams, fellow dirt track driver, going to pull up behind them. He's trying to close the ground to get to that back bumper. Really surprised that he waited as long as he did to move up to the high side. Ernie, one of those drivers who prefers to be in that upper lane, but man, I'm not one to question him because he's got quite a few points this season.
Yeah, as now we're 3 wide, dead even for the lead now. This is some nice driving from all these drivers in this lead pack here. Like I said, 3 wide deep, about 5 rows back. This is going to be fun to watch here in the next 2.5 laps remaining.
Bottom line getting a little bit broken apart here. Let's see what happens. You got Tyler Miller leading that group there and Josh Milam, but now Casey's cleared the field. He really wants that bonus point. So does Travis Elliott. We'll see if they're able to get it this time around.
Casey Gilchrist, the rookie, out in front for the moment, but that's going to change very quickly as we do have 3 wide racing on board with the 04. Mark Mann found a little bit of a disliking down the backstretch, and now he's trying to tuck up behind the 17 to Jimmy Reynolds and get caught back up to this group. as this first stage is winding down very quickly. 25 drivers taking the green flag here tonight. Of those 25, we still have 24 on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see only one driver pulling off from that, watching that three-line action. These drivers, especially these chase contender guys, these guys are greedy. They're really wanting these stage points, as now we have 7, or actually 6, almost 7, the chase contending guys in the top 10 spots right now.
Gilchrist became the 4th chaser to lead a lap there. Duvendak jumps in front of Travis Elliott there. He's another chase competitor looking for a bonus point. Not sure if he's going to get it this time, but that high line looks to be a little more organized than the other two. That might be the way to go this time around.
2 laps to go here in stage number 1, and I want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to all our fans watching on YouTube. Several of y'all chiming in, rooting for your driver. Now's the time to really make some noise for them. They need your supporters. We got 2, or I should say 1.5 laps to go now as they're halfway down the backstretch.
Oof, Casey's trying to block that 26 from passing him, and when he did that up to the top lane, Hunter really had to check up, it looked like, and it looked like James Mayer and then Logan Helton had to jump to the top side to avoid the big one happening already before the stage end here.
It was a really big move there by James Mayer. I thought it was going to really get a lot of momentum, but the line just seemed to die on him there, and we're coming down to the last lap of the stage.
Contact! Derek Conley goes to the inside wall, smacks it, a 1-car spin. We stay green as the final lap begins here in stage number 1. Derek Conley goes from the lead, and that is going to really affect his run here in this opening stage.
Yeah, ooh, it's sorry, it's hard to see that from Derek Conley, especially going inside, hitting that wall like he did. He's probably going to end up
more trouble, big time trouble. This one is going to bring out a caution, or does it? We stay green. Logan Helton out in front, and he may be the first one to strike, as he is going to go unchallenged across the line. And Logan Helton picks up stage number 1.
Ooh, man, that was a wild one. That was a huge one. Bad news for the Josh Milam, it looked like. Trying to go back and see, wondering if you guys would beat me of who all was involved in that, but it looked like Josh Milam and the 51 of Travis Elliott was also involved in that.
Travis Elliott already on pit road. Let's see if we can back this up a little bit here and figure out what happened to Travis Elliott. That's not going to get it. Let's try, well, poop. I don't think I'm going to get it. All right, here we go. Going into the corner, Duvendak, little bit of wiggle, tags Josh Milam. Travis Elliott climbing the wall. And that's why the caution didn't come out. Nobody really spun out. Just a lot of beating and banging, and the wall straightened out. Josh Milam and Travis Elliott ran out of room, and Logan Helton going to come away with the stage.
Bad news for both of those chase contending drivers, especially for TJ Elliott, as he's 8 points underneath the cutoff right now. Josh Milam, I mean, yeah, this is very bad news for him still, but right now he's 7 points before the race. He was 7 points in the good, actually probably 8 since he got a lap lead, but he was in the good. So, but very bad news for TJ Elliott.
We'll take a quick look at the points here since we didn't get that in. This was coming into the race here tonight as we get ready for pit stops, but your top 8 right there, all championship contenders. Josh Milam, one of those, and you mentioned he was on the good side of things for the moment, but Peter, you know a little bit more than we do as they come down pit road.
Yeah, 6 of the 8 chasers scoring points there in that stage. Travis Elliott and Rick Seabrand's the only ones who didn't. 10 points to Logan Helton's a huge boost to him. He was on the cutoff line before, but you know what really was surprising to me is there at the end, Ernie Williams came out and got 5 stage points out of that. He seemed like he was out of the picture and not super into getting to that 3-wide aggressiveness there. He comes out with 5 stage points when everyone else seems to be kind of high variance there. He was just steady, and he was already leading. I think he might actually be really safe at this point. We're going to add some things up here while we're under caution and see where we're at.
All right, so let's take a moment and talk to our stage 1 winner, and that is none other than the 63 of Logan Helton. Logan, you got your ears on, man?
I do.
You pick up stage number 1 here tonight. Congratulations on that. You strike early in this bid for a championship.
Yeah, going to the race, I knew that if I wanted to make it in, I know I was in 4th, but I was tied for 4th, and I was looking close, so I knew if I wanted me to be in and my teammate Rick to be in, I needed to win a stage, if not both of them, and then he needed to win the race. So far the plan's working out. He's just staying back there, you know, chilling out, keeping the car safe, and I'm up here putting it at risk because what the heck would I be doing?
Well, Logan, this 63 machine looking very racy, a front row start for you and a stage win to kick this one off. Man, so far things are looking up for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This race has been pretty crazy so far. That first stage, I thought I wasn't going to get good points because the lines kept checking up. I don't know if they were hot or if they were trying to let other people in, but once I saw the middle line open, I just had to take it and wanted to see what I could do, and everything just worked out for us. They had a big checkup. They almost wrecked, I think, and that just really helped us get up to the front again.
All right, man, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give here tonight?
Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to my teammates at Alliance Motorsports, and thanks to Splash Go Graphics for whipping up this awesome paint scheme for me, and as well Nexus Esports, and I think I said you guys for putting on the broadcast.
I think you did too. So congratulations, Logan, striking early, stage 1 winner. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, so Logan Helton picking up stage 1, but pulling down pit road. So are a whole lot of other drivers.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And we're almost, at least I am. I'm curious to see if any of them will come back around and top off and maybe see if they can make their way. Correct me if I'm wrong, but stage 2 end will be at 40, if that's correct.
At the completion of lap 40. Stage 2 will end at the completion of lap 40. Can I say that one more time? Welcome to the
please.
Department of Redundancy Department.
So, yeah, it looks like some of these guys, I would think maybe even top off here, and they could probably make it all the way to the end of stage 2. So,
Not a popular strategy I see them employ very often, especially when the points matter this much. But I guess when it comes to gambling to try and see if you can be up front at the end of the stage, and you're going to see a lot of people take some chances here.
Well, I was told 18 laps on a fuel run. By the time the green flag comes back out, we'll be well within that window of 18 laps.
yes, indeed. But you also got to play in that factor. If any of these drivers want to try to lead those laps, they will burn more fuel when leading this pack. So maybe, like I said, they'll probably come in and top off if they want to try to lead this whole pack all the way to the end of the stage without being conservative, trying to worry about if they're going to run out of fuel if we get one of these drivers to lead them pack the entire way.
All right, napkin math of the standings here. So, as they stand now, Hunter Reynolds has now passed Ernie Williams, and Hunter is 13 points to the good. Ernie Williams second, 11 points to the good. Logan Helton has moved up to the third and is 6 points to the good. And with that little incident there, Josh Milam now in fourth, only 4 points to the good. PC Gilchrist 4 points behind him, so 4 points out of the cutoff. Duvendak getting those stage points, but he still remains 7 points out of the cutoff. His last two are kind of heartbreaking, though. TJ Elliott, 17 points behind the cutoff. Rick Seabrand's 25 points behind the cutoff. No stage points for either of those guys. We're starting to look like win or go home territory now.
Green flag getting ready to come back out as the pace car is pulled off. We're going to fire them off for stage number 2. We're going to see how this strategies work out as the green flag flies. Hunter Reynolds, Ernie Williams leading this field to turn number 1. Mark Vega in the 18, along with the 53 of Dave Hunt. 3 cars in the outside lane trying to match the train that is down on the bottom.
Yeah, that was a train. That was a huge long line for the inside lane. I can't believe how many cars were back there on that inside lane. It looks like they're still fighting even back there in the back of the pack, as they're already making it too wide to try to get to the top.
So do we think that they're trying to get back up to the front of the field here, or do we think that they're really content saving a lot of fuel right now, with the plan maybe being that they can have a shorter pit stop because they didn't use as much when they pit here in a second? Or if they're going to try and make the distance, maybe they just want to make sure they get there.
I am going to say everyone can make it on fuel in this run as Jimmy Reynolds takes over the race lead, but having that just a little bit more fuel when this stage ends is going to give you a shorter pit stop by just that much, and it may make a difference when we start our final stage and give those guys track position back.
Yeah, and it looks like what I said, Hunter Reynolds was leading this pack, and you know, he didn't want to burn as much fuel. So as you seen him go around the top side, and now he's making it all the way in the back, right in front of the 63 of Logan Helton on that inside lane. It looks like he's trying to be fuel conservative for until the end of the stage.
A lot of new names in the front, though, leading laps that haven't been there yet today. We got Jimmy Reynolds last lap. Sean McCarra looks like he's going to lead this lap. We got Vega, Hunt, Lacavera, Levy, a bunch of guys who haven't necessarily been at the front of the big pack. We had some of those guys stay out a little bit later earlier, but in front of all 25 cars just feels a little bit different for sure.
Mark Vega leading in front of the 71 is Sean McCarra. Mark Vega, longtime race control for OP on Monday nights, had his fill of race control and decided he was going to get back behind the wheel. Made it into championship contention, but did not survive the first round. But don't count him out. He picked up the very first win this season, pretty much sealing the deal for him very early on. So a lot of stress relieved off the shoulders for the 18. And I wouldn't be surprised if we find a non-chase driver in victory lane here tonight.
Yes, very well indeed. Now that I'm scrolling to the back of the pack, looks like the 7 of Josh Milan and the 51 of Travis Elliott, looks like they did end up using their fast repair. I don't see any damage alongside those vehicles, so expect them to probably be staying safe in the back of the pack and just trying to shoot for that win at the end towards this race.
Here's how safe Josh Milam's playing it right now. He's 2 cars behind Rick Sebrands. That tells you what he feels needs to happen here. He knows he's only 4 points to the good right now. He's got to have a car at the finish to get some good points that way. Playing it super duper duper safe right now. He doesn't need quite the aggression that Rick is going to need in stage 3, but he's definitely going to need a car to cross the finish line.
Change at the front. The 53 of Dave Hunt trying to work the outside of 18 of Mark Vega. Dave Hunt almost making it into championship contention. If you guys remember our final race of the regular season, that one was a nail biter for Dave Hunt, Derek Conley, and I believe Casey Gilchrist. And Gilchrist got in and he made the most of it as he is now making a bid for the championship 4. But like I said, man, don't count out these non-chase drivers. There is still plenty of talent behind the wheel, and they are showing up to put on a show here tonight.
And it looks like all these chase contenders are watching, as we don't have any right now in the top 10. They're just watching all these drivers, non-chase contenders, go at it, and we'll see what they do here towards now that we have the final 10 laps to the end of stage 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be the difference maker at the end. If it's not one of these guys who's going to get super desperate that we see like Elliott or Sebrands, then I would bet my money on a non-chaser for sure. There's just so many more of them, and they got nothing to lose.
Just like that, Dave Hunt falls back David Overstreet from Checkered Flag Motorsports out in front with his teammate behind him, the 62 of Les Levy. A little bit of interesting tidbit here, guys. Our lead chase contender, that's TJ Elliott in the 51. He's all the way back in 9th spot.
Yeah, as they're now maybe making their way towards the front, not sure yet. Checkered Flag Motorsports, they're here to, as you could emphasize, of Les Levy's paint busting nut and trying to get this win here. David Overstreet has been taking so much time off in the feeder series, and looks like this vacation has helped him out a little bit, and maybe he just wants to fall back in love with racing and on the Monday night series, as him and Les Levy are now 1 and 2 on the inside lane.
Look at some of these chase guys are starting to get a little impatient. They're like, I want to make sure I'm up the front here when everyone starts to go 2 or 3 wide and the points start getting handed out. You see Casey Gilchrist making his way up here, teammate Aspen Belvin creeping up behind him there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Travis Elliott right in front of Casey. You see the Rapid Geek guys are really starting to get together and make a push for this.
Side by side, we haul off into turn number 1. Third lane not being utilized just yet, but laps are winding down here in stage number 2. Everyone trying to put themselves in a good position to start making their final moves. And this is a lot like chess. You got to be 3 moves ahead of the next guy, but when that next guy is 3 moves ahead as well, it kind of all evens out.
Yeah, as after we had the talk with Logan Helton of the 63 after the stage 1 in, you heard his strategy. He's wanting to go back up there and win stage number 2, but I don't know about it right now, guys. He's sitting all the way back in the 21st spot, almost all the way in the back where, I hear him shutting his car off a little bit every now and then. Maybe he's conserving fuel. Maybe he's a lot closer than he thinks to the end of this stage. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they're playing it safe here. I mean, it's interesting because I know that there has been discussions before about lengthening the stages so that you weren't able to make this second stage on one stint, but a lot of these guys feel like they're going to be able to make it by doing this, but we have seen this happen before. The stage points will be revoked if you're not able to make it all the way back around to your pit stop there, and that's 2 whole laps because if it stays green, they're not going to throw the caution until 10th place crosses the finish line, which means the leader has to go all the way around once, then catch the pace car, then pit. And I know 18 green seems feasible, but it really ends up being like 19 green plus a lap of caution. So that's going to be cutting it a little bit closer, especially these guys that are at the front. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it.
Speaking of the front, the 21 of Daniel Holloway working in the inside of the 62 of Les Levy. The Ricky Bobby Foundation for drivers who just want to go fast. Well, Les Levy's taking some notes. He's going the fastest right now as he is out in front of this field. And what a victory it would be for the 62. Les Levy, one of the other championship contenders that got eliminated in the first round. We do have a few drivers peeling off for pit stops. Jimmy Reynolds going to lead that group. Hunter Reynolds, Ernie Williams, and Josh Milam, FSR on the pit lane.
Ooh, see, here we go with the fuel strategy. Like I said, well, I could have sworn I heard Logan Helton shutting off his, or just coasting it with his car in some of these turns, hitting the clutch and to try to conserve that fuel. This might be the deal breaker for Team Alliance here, and some of the remaining drivers like Vapid Yeet and stuff still out here. Maybe they can get some of these stage points, and FSR doesn't get them.
Looks like Duvendeck brushed the wall there. I wanted to say we were talking about 3 moves ahead in chess. I don't know if this is how it played out, but last time around, FSR and Empire Motorsports all pitted together, right? This time, just FSR pitted. Where are the Empire guys? They got together in the high side, and now they're cooking. They're trying to increase the pace of this field. The 12 cars in the chase, the 28 and 24 are not. I wonder if their job right now is to make everyone push here. So wait a sec, now we're not going to make it because we're going so fast trying to keep up with these Empire guys. If that's going to run back and land right into FSR's lap, because Josh Milam needs some stage points after the way the first one went. This is one of those 3D big brain 40 chess plays maybe, because all those Empire guys up there all jumped to the high line as soon as those FSR guys went to the pits. I don't know. We'll see.
I gotta think this is a long play for a very short pit stop here at the stage caution from FSR. I haven't seen anyone else try and make a break for pit road, so I'm thinking that they are figuring they'll come down, get a splash of fuel, no tires. Those 4 cars will be the first 4 cars out from their pit stops, and they will have track position.
Yeah, that's a good theory that you have there, KR. As we are 3 wide now for the front into this lead, at least 6 cars deep, or 6 rows deep, a 3 wide action. It's gonna get intense here with 2.5 laps remaining as Derek Conley squeezes all the way down to the bottom.
That was a Conley clear move right there.
He makes those jumps to the bottom like they seem so scary when they happen, but he always knows what he's doing. One time he was pushing me at Legacy Daytona all the way to the front, past all these guys, and I thought I was going to do the Admiral thing, like, man, you did all the work. I'm going to make sure I drag you so you're clear too. What's the first thing he did? Immediately turned left and dive bomb under me there, so I got hung out to dry. He's the best at it. He knows exactly where his car is and exactly where the back bumper ends and when he can slam the door and when he is clear.
Last time I tried a Conley clear, I went for a spin. I got it wrong, and man, did I look like I had egg on my face, because I sure did. But Conley, who was out in front at the end of stage 1, once again back out in front. We'll see if this is going to play out the same for him. Les Levy in the 62 trying to play spoiler. None of our chase contenders inside the top 5 just yet. Casey Gilchrist, one of the closest ones.
Infield there. Big contact.
Down below the racing line, we're coming to 2 to go for this stage. Bob Lacavera and Sean McCara going for a spin there, coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like sitting there following Sean McCara back in that
Big
wreck.
trouble.
Too.
David Overstreet, David Booth involved. Big wreck at the back of the field. This caution coming out is going to give the 62 of Les Levy stage win number 2.
Wow.
Casey Gilchrist involved there. Some other chasers. I flip back through the field here.
Look like the 4 Rick Sebrands also slow as well. Let's back this up and see what happened to the 13 of Casey Gilchrist. The 77 came down, clipped the 46, and it is going to back this field up. Rick Sebrand's just on the brakes, keeping that car clean. Take one more look at this one.
Oof, bad news for Vapid Yeet, as TJ Elliott was involved in that one. You know, as we keep in mind, like I said, I think he used his fast repair on the first caution that we had of this race, and now he's involved that one with heavy damage of the front, and Casey Gilchrist involved as well.
It's a huge break there. I'm going to be interested to see if we get the stage results here from race control. Are all these guys going to be able to make it on fuel? I don't know if they were planning on it. Maybe they were. The guys at the front were leading. Les Levy was out front for a while. He's going to be doing the best he can to make sure he can get there under his own power. But I think this is going to work out in their favor, being a lap or two before they expected to have to drive down pit road.
All right, so the 62 of Les Levy with a beautiful stage 2 comes away with the win. We'll get him up here. This is going to be a good interview here. All right, they're making their way down on the pit road. Now it's time to see who had the right strategy. Caution came out. I expect to see FSR with some very quick pit stops here. A little splash of fuel for them, and then away we go once again.
Looking at Casey's car, it looks like the hood, the bumper, and everything's off that, and boop, there it goes, all clean again. So it looks like Casey's going to use a fast repair as well. TJ Elliott staying in the pit, so it looks like he's going to do some optional to get that car back out in the field.
All right, let's kick this off by talking to our stage 2 winner, the 62 of Les Levy. Les, you got your ears on, bud?
Sure do, buddy. How are you, KR? How's Fritzy up on the booth tonight?
Fritzy's doing fine. He brought some towels, so it's good. It's good. You want Fritzy to do the interview?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, you got to, because you always jinx me, buddy.
All right. I
Gotta be
will
a
let
Fritzy
them do it.
interview.
I'm just here to listen.
Well, Les, I talked to you guys before the race today, and you guys said you're here to end it. You're here to win it. So with that stage 2 win there, it looks like all things are going in favor for you tonight. Tell us about that big one happening behind you, and how maybe lucky you were for that to happen.
Yeah, I know they were racing pretty hard there at the end. Fritzy, not sure I would have held them off, but heck, I've had enough bad luck at the other end of that deal, so I'll take it. We really weren't racing for any stage points. We were just playing a little bit of fuel strategy, and sometimes that just kind of works out when you don't need as much fuel as the other guys. Came out good, and got some good pushing from my teammate Dave Overstreet. Hated to see him and I think Booth getting a little wreck, but it's good racing. Hell of a move by Derek Conley coming down from the high side. A lot of fun out there.
Les, it's Peter. Did you think that you guys would have made it all the way there? I know that there had been talks about lengthening the stage so that you couldn't make it in a green flag run, and your car had been out front for most of that stage there. Do you think guys you would have made it there regardless of the caution?
Yeah, no, I was good. I topped off Peter, so I was good by at least 2 laps, and I think even Vega, who didn't, was good by maybe a half a lap.
Good looks, man. Well done winning the stage here, and that's only stage 2. Go win the 3rd one too, man.
Well, we're just out here to have a good time, man. Watch the Chasers and buckle down for next week.
Yes, very well indeed. Les, like to see that 62 in victory lane. Any shout outs and thank yous you want to give?
Well, we always got to thank all you boys up in the booth at Turn 3 Motorsports, even KR, all the guys. Shouldn't forget Alex Cody and Robert for putting this league on. And, of course, everybody's got to remember the Ricky Bobby Foundation for People Challenge to go fast.
Sounds good, Les. We'll hope to see you here at the end for a nice little podium, if not a race win tonight.
10-4.
All right, so there you go. Stage 2 winner, Les Levy. And he ain't wrong in that he was dreading this interview, because many a times I pull him up and a few laps later he's on pit road.
Well, hopefully I can change his luck around.
All right, so final stage coming up. We have had quite a few skirmishes, to say the least. The end result, though, we've only had cautions at the end of the stage. So far, everything has been working out. 25 drivers in this race, all 25 drivers still on the lead lap. Our championship contenders all sitting, just one in 10th spot in the top 10. That's Josh Milam. Other than that, everyone else really kind of just sprinkled throughout the back half of this field.
Yes, indeed. KR, just forgot that what we forgot to mention on the stream is our racing info. As you can see, most of these cars probably, maybe there's so many less cautions because I'm looking at the weather here, and it looks like the track is only at a nice cooling 68 degrees. These cars ain't sliding at all. They're nice and straight. I mean, and with this cool down track, you shouldn't see hardly any skates on these cars and sliding back and forth like they would a hot track. So.
Yeah, I did forget to go through the race info. A little hurried start here tonight. This is the final race for the championship. A win will get you in if you're one of the 8 drivers. To start this thing off, we had a 27-point separation from first place to 8th place. How aggressive do you want to be? And you got to make sure that you're there at the end. And we're getting close to the end. We are firing off our final stage as we get ready to go green flag racing. Derek Conley in the 28, Les Levy in the 62. They both get to the throttle and away we go as the green flag flies. Josh Milam in the 7 going way up to the top side. Hunter Reynolds going to try and follow him. Cars getting up to speed, and Zach, as a race winner here in this OP truck series, what did it take to win this race that you won Saturday night?
I'll tell you what, it was a lot different than this. These, like these boys have only had 2 cautions, I believe Saturday night. I'd say by the end of, lap 50 or lap 60, there was probably a total of like 10 or 11 cautions. It was a big, it was a big wreck fest. I even got out of it on lap 7, had to use a fast repair, so I had to use a track position as my key. I wanted to know where I was at, like same with the number 4 of Rick Seabrands is doing tonight. He's staying in the back, keeping it nice and easy, trying not to get involved in any of these wrecks. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. So I'm hoping to see maybe Rick start getting up there probably around like lap 80 or yeah, I'd say lap 80, lap 75 to get up there, start making his way to the front to try to see if he can win this thing.
Something troubling I'm noticing right now is Travis Elliott has lost the pack. So after using the fast repair early and getting caught up that crash there, it doesn't look like he has a car that can keep up. He's going to need some cautions, and maybe he wasn't able to get all the optional damage taken care of, but at this rate, he's going to be dropping 2-3 seconds a lap real soon once he's got no draft. And this is not the time to be like that. Not just from a point standpoint, just stage 3 being 50 laps, so the other one's only being 25. Like it's gonna, or sorry, a little bit shorter distance to Talladega, but 54 laps as opposed to 20 laps for the stage there. So we're gonna see how long he can hang on and whether or not the field cooperates here and stays green.
Les Levy in the 62 out in front, picking up right where he left off for the stage 2 win. Derek Conley in the 28 on his back bumper. Randall Cobb in the 52 right there as well. Gotta watch out for that 52. He is capable of winning races. Here he is at the front as we begin this final stage.
Yep, as now we see towards the back of the pack, they're all still single file here back here. No need, it looks like most of the majority of these cars to get to the front, as they're not in desperation mode and they're just chilling in the back here and taking it nice and slow.
Chilling is putting it lightly. Logan Helton, 15th place. Oh, Casey Gilchrist, 15th place right now. That's the highest ranking of all the chase drivers. 15th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Those are the 8 guys who are leading the championship right now? Man, how are any of them going to win this race? And we got 14 non-chasers leading the field right now. That's nuts.
Yeah, our championship contenders mired deep in the pack. And with that being said, man, you got to start wondering, are they going after points? It's a big gamble here in the final stage to do something like that, because there's no more guarantees. Another caution will come out, and the further back you are, the higher the risk of losing that draft.
Yeah, and I feel like the only one closest to get more points for the most laps led was probably either Hunter Reynolds or Josh Milam, and that was, almost seems like it was forever ago now. It was between like lap 1 and like maybe lap 20 or 25. You don't see any of these guys up to the front, so looks like none of the chase contenders are going to try to go for that extra bonus point of having the most laps led tonight.
Yeah, not only that, it's going to be interesting to see how much of them are trying to save fuel by going all spread out like this in single file. Are they trying to make this on 2 stops instead of 3? Are they thinking that many steps ahead? We've had enough incidents early on where I don't know if that's necessarily going to work out in their favor if they end up losing a whole lot of pace here. See, lots of big gaps too. Like Mark Mann, he's leaving Casey Gilchrist a lot of space, but behind him, Logan Helton's leaving even more space. I'm not sure if they're a little bit of damage there and they're just trying to preserve their car, or they're just trying to save more fuel. But the pack, it doesn't seem super aggressive up here at the front right now. I don't know if I'd be playing this scared.
All right, guys, we had a request for it, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and turn it up as the field works its way through the final stage. A little bit of turn it up goes a long way. And I'll tell you what, you know what else goes a long way? Opportunity to talk about Buck Wild Racing. The 52 of Randall Cobb leading the outside lane. He's got the 53 of Dave Hunt pushing on his back bumper. Those two working together very well in this outside lane. Mark Vega almost getting into the 82. Dan Harrington going into the corner. And if Facebook serves me correctly, I believe it is Dan Harrington's birthday today. So that could go a long way. Nice little birthday present if that 82 can get in victory lane.
That could go a long way. I'm pretty sure he'd be super happy about that one. Especially being as an independent driver in this series, you know, has not been with the team yet. So that could go definitely a really long way for Dan Harrington.
Yeah, he's got a few wins in the series history as well, but he's been a long-time racer in OP and really respected around the garage and the teams and whatnot. He kind of piggybacks on whenever anyone needs a fourth or a fifth for the night, and super duper friendly guy. You can watch it from his perspective right now on twitch.tv/DemonTech82, as you see on the back bumper of his car and the hood of his car and the side of his car. We always love some good self-promotion here at Turn 3.
Self-promotion. You kill me. All right, so here we go. Working lap 55 of 94. Derek Conley on the back bumper. Tyler Miller in the 24. Empire Motorsports. First two cars on the inside lane. Dan Harrington in Meteor Racing tonight, his own team. Doing a good job running up at the front. Right behind him, James Mayer in the 95. That's your first five cars on the inside row as I lose count there. But man, one driver that I'm looking at, that I'm rooting for, that's the 5 of Bob Lacavera. Bob, been one of the hard luck drivers this season. If there was a crash, he was in it. But anytime he was able to avoid everything, he puts that car up in the front, and here he is in contention for a win. So we'll see if we can get Bob Lacavera on a podium here tonight.
Yeah, Bob Lacavera, he's a good guy. He doesn't race in the feeders as much as what I've seen, but every time I talk to him before each one of these races Monday night, he's definitely a good guy to talk to. Very fun guy. He's always out here to have fun, and a win would just, you know, make it more fun for him. So he's just all here to have fun, whether what place he comes in, and he's just a good person in general.
For sure. There's a lot of unfamiliar names for people who follow the points closely near the front, but a lot of big name drivers as far as racing in OP in and out of the other series there. You got Sean McCara, Mark Vega, as we said, with Race Control before, David Overstreet up there in the top 10. I'm going to be interested to see how many of them really start getting super aggressive at the end. Some of these guys have some different agendas for helping some teammates, and some of them don't have anyone that they're worried about. They're vigilantes out there looking for themselves. So it'll be interesting to see. We got a little bit more action, though. The front of the field's getting a little more dense. Casey Gilchrist up there on the outside, our highest ranking chase competitor, is starting to close up there and move towards the front.
Yep, now as we're approaching lap 57, here we go. We got a couple of drivers I was getting ready to mention that we're going to be seeing some pit stops here shortly. Within the next few laps, we're going to see who goes in and who doesn't.
And Bob Lacavera misses the commitment cone. That is going to be a penalty for the 5. Broadcaster's curse brought down on him.
Oh, geez, KR, look what you done to Bob. Bob's a good driver, good person, and look what you done to him.
I ruined it. I ruined him.
All right, KR, so who else do you like?
After that, I'm not sure I'm going to say anything.
As we got most of these drivers now on the inside lane, we only got 4 on the top side, and that's the Randall Cobb 52, and there goes 62 of Les Levy, and Derek Conley. Looks like Empire Motorsports went with him. Didn't look like all of Checkered Flag did go down with Les Levy, though.
It is
interesting seeing a lot of the the Empire guys go, but not the FSR guys. They're kind of in the back still. I still see Jimmy Reynolds up there, Josh Milam up there still. I don't know if they're waiting to get bunched together, if they're really trying to stretch it. But those guys usually work together. I do think the Empire guys are up front a little bit longer, so they may have just had one lap less fuel as a result.
So Randall Cobb in the 52, Dave Hunt in the 53, Buck Wild Racing out in front. But when are they going to have to come down pit road? Last time they were on pit lane was lap 40. And here they come. Big amount of drivers. The words are hard.
Ooh, Casey Hoops hitting the back of teammate Sean McCara there.
Duvendak got a little bump, got a little kiss from the 84 of Aspen Belvin.
Yes, indeed.
He just
was
kissed
a
it.
Little kiss. Little kiss. There was a lot more brake smoke than the previous green flag pit stop we've had in
that was a late night sneaky uncle kiss.
Look at all the chase drivers that stayed out though. They realize how important it is to stay out an additional lap, maybe to save themselves a pit stop later. You get the 63, the 4, the 7, the 26, the 91. All of these guys worried about making it to the end and making sure that they've got enough fuel in the car. They're really stretching the limits here. They know it's going to make a big deal in the points, and here they all come.
Yeah, I could see that happening with FSR. They're looking towards the end of this race. Oh,
Logan Helton getting the most out of his brakes on that one. Didn't lock him up, but man, he was wiggling big time, kept that under control. Mark Mann also getting a good entry onto pit lane. That is going to make a difference here in a green flag pit stop. How fast you can get into your pit stall makes all the difference. And then a big rush off pit lane.
I tell you what, that was trust in between teammates right there with 63 and Mark Mann. Logan Houghton with, that was too close for comfort for those two drivers, and I'm glad they ended up pulling that away without kissing each other.
But here comes the pack. You can see staying out that extra lap, being at the back of the field, checking up, these guys are going to get left behind by this group that's coming up now. You got the Empire guys and Les Levy. These 5 cars have been all together for a lap or two here. They're just going to dust them here on the backstretch. It's going to be interesting to see, can these chase competitors who are concentrating on saving fuel, are they going to be able to keep up once this pack gets moving on the outside of them?
So Logan Helton scored as the race leader, but he's got some drivers working to his outside. Tyler Miller with a full head of steam. Derek Conley, Les Levy, Randall Cobb, and Dave Hunt all making the move around the outside. Derek Conley, another slice down to the inside.
Yeah, as we see here, I'm curious which they do. I was wondering if the 4 of Rick Seabrans is going to stay with this pack. Remember, he's been cautious all night. I was curious if he was going to. We got
big
huge
trouble.
carnage.
Les Levy involved. Up and over goes the 62.
Tyler Miller up on the hood. Runs into Ernie Williams Jr. on the infield. Ooh.
The 91 involved. Tyler Miller involved. Les Levy involved. Yellow flag coming out.
That's a huge hit there. I think Ernie's the only chase competitor who got any of that. Went over the hood a little bit there. Doesn't look like too much damage in the car, but I'm wondering what the RPMs are looking like there. If they're not sitting perfect where they need to be at 2,000, that's definitely a fast repair, and that's a pretty vulnerable part of the car.
Take a look at this again. The 52 bumps the 24, and Les Levy goes for a ride, lands on all 4. Tyler Miller went for a ride as well, landing on Ernie Williams' hood. A lot of smoke involved in this one, and caution coming out. So just after a round of green flag pit stops too.
Looked like I want to point out KR5. I don't know if you posted it yet on the stream yet, but 5 I think had the best in-car camera as both cars fly above him during that wreck.
Speaking of the 5, I think he's in line to get the lucky dog here for that commitment cone violation, so that's going to be super helpful for him. Tough break for David Booth and Travis Elliott, though, because they had just gone a lap down earlier in the stage because of a fuel issue for David Booth and the damage from Travis Elliott. Bob Lacavera missing that cone kind of took the lucky dog away from those guys there, so they're going to need more cautions if they're going to try and get their laps back.
All right, so with that being said, guys, we are going to take a break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to set up our lineup for this restart. Yay, break time.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are wrapping up this caution. Derek Conley in the 28, coming off of pit road as the race leader. Dave Hunt on his outside. Logan Helton in the 63 on the inside of road number 2 for this restart. James Mayer on the outside of row number 2. Then it's the 46 of David Overstreet and the 18 of Mark Vega. That's your first 3 rows for this restart. Couple drivers coming down pit lane to top off, and guys, we were watching that under caution here.
Yes, we were, and most of the cars that didn't top off that I'm watching right now, it looks like they're all right now pressing the clutch and shutting off the engines to save more fuel.
A couple came in to top off. We only got 5 rows of double file. Everyone behind that 5 car came in and topped off there. That's more cars topping off than we had people staying out. So look to see if those guys can go an extra couple laps here, and if that's going to make a difference here at the end of the race.
One driver who was involved in this caution who has not gotten back out there, that is the 24 of Tyler Miller. Solid race going, and now it's been taken away from him with heavy damage. We'll see if he can get back out there, but late in this race, his chances of winning are kaput. TJ Elliott, David Booth, Les Levy, all scored laps down. 21 cars on the lead lap. Derek Conley leading this field to the green flag, and our championship contenders are starting to work their way forward. We'll see if we get another long green flag run. No one can make it to the end of the race from here, but it is getting down to crunch time as the green flag is out. We're back underway. Conley leads this field into turn 1.
Yep, as now we're coming around turn number 2. Some drivers in the back are now dicing up towards the top. Majority though are still staying single file on that inside lane. Not sure. Obviously, it's more than likely just strategy wise, but as they're coming around the backstretch now, Dave Hunt has got a car length ahead of Derek Conley.
I think I really like the top off here now that I look at the numbers, because we just restarted here on lap 66. So it's 34 laps of green. Let's assume that 2 laps before they pitted, so it was 2 laps of caution, 34 of green.
Oh, Dave Hunt goes around. Gathers it back in. Still scrambling. And we stay green, but Dave Hunt somehow used the cars around him to straighten himself out.
Feeling super spread out now, though.
And then Dan Harrington back behind him was able to brake that hard without hitting in the back of him. That was crazy too.
Wonder how that throws a wrench into the strategy here, though, because now you got cars who are content at riding around the front who didn't top off, that are going to be stuck in the back here, maybe without a drafting partner, and they're short on fuel. See, the up front is not super duper together, but they're getting there. The cars in the back really need to organize, or we're going to have 2 separate packs in just a second, because these guys in the front only have, it's like 3 chase competitors amongst them. Those 3 guys are going to be wanting this pack to just disappear and run off into the sunset.
Yeah, Logan Helton tucked in tight behind the 28 of Derek Conley. Casey Gilchrist in the 13 in this group as well, and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Those 3 championship contenders in this pack of we'll call it 9 drivers. Daniel Holloway trying to close in, but he's a little bit behind. He is closing in and may be able to close up behind Hunter Reynolds, but behind Holloway is a big gap. The 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, the 51 of Travis Elliott. They're running side by side, but they do have a full head of steam. Elliott with that damage, not able to maintain pace, and Reynolds in the 17 gonna mosey right on by.
I tell you what, isn't this a toss-up? Oh man, spreading out this whole field, this is gonna change everything. If this second pack cannot get a hold of this first pack, it's gonna change all the fuel strategy and everything. It's gonna be nuts.
I'll tell you how urgent that second pack is. They put Jimmy at the front of that pack because they're like, you know what? You're not in the chase. You're going to use more fuel than the rest of us. Sorry, man. I'm putting FSR Superstar Josh Milam right behind you, and you're getting shoved. That's going to be the only way that we can get caught up. We're going to have our best shover and our non-chaser leading and using all his fuel, and we're going to try and reel these guys in. And it's going to help if these guys go too wide in front like this.
Our fuel window to make it to the end of the scheduled distance here tonight is going to open up in about 8 or 9 laps. Keep in mind, I said scheduled distance. We will use green, white, checkered if we have to, and that is something that you have to account for. Last time we were on pit road was lap 63. Some drivers topping off at the end. So they do have some fuel. They can carry this deep into that fuel window to cover the possibility of a green, white, checkered.
Sorry to cut you off there, KR. This second pack is moving. They took a second and a half off that lead group. They are coming so fast. They're going to catch them right now. These guys are going to be putting down some of the fastest laps of the race. Look for some purple sectors on there in your timing.
Yeah, Jimmy Reynolds closing in. He's less than a second behind Hunter Reynolds, and they are really moving and grooving here. As you can see on the camera there, as we're on board with the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, just how much faster they are going.
Yeah, it looks like Dave Hunt was the only one that really, obviously got hurt from that, getting turned sideways and trying to get it back straight again. He's right now off the pace of that second pack, probably at 5 seconds back, and he's falling back deeply.
I'm curious to how much of that was organized by the team alliance there, because Derek Conley was leading that single file line at the very, very front. And he had his FSR alliance teammates there leading that second pack. I wonder if he was just not going as hard as he possibly could, because you saw Holloway jump out of line and say, I'm going to go try and get this lead here. And look at these guys fight. Conley does not want to give up the top spot.
All right, Cyborg, we're getting down to crunch time. You've been keeping track of the points earned. How are things looking for our championship contenders? Logan Helton, stage win, out in front here. If he can pick up the win, that solves that question really quick. But outside of that, what does everyone else need to do?
I think Hunter Reynolds, Ernie Williams, Logan Helton finish the race. Like top 15, they're probably fine. Logan and Ernie are 11 points to the good. Hunter's 13 points to the good. They should be all right. They just don't need to get caught up in a wreck and finish a lap down. If they get, they're probably fine. Josh Milam's 4 points to the good. He's going to need something a little bit better than that. Maybe a top 10, maybe a top 5. But he's the last car in, but he does have a little bit of a cushion. Casey Gilchrist and Robert Duvendak are 4 points back. They can play this by ear. They want to be near the front at the end if they have to be the winner. But if they see, Milam speed on pit road or something like that, they might, pump the brakes a little bit. They're racing against each other. They're watching each other and they're watching Josh. Travis Elliott and Rick Sebrands are win or go home. They're 13 and 25 points back. They ain't making that up in positions. So they should be making their way to the front here and really putting themselves in position to win the race at the end. They're not going to be happy with a second.
I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to everyone watching in on YouTube. Got a new person sounding off, Kyle over on YouTube, stopping in to say hi. He thinks we're the best broadcasting team. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not biased or anything, but I think I agree.
Well, I mean, we're just, maybe just talking racing. Got to have a passion for racing to be here, and so we thank each and every one of you all for stopping by and watching. If you are enjoying the race, make sure you do hit that thumbs up button. Let the drivers know that you appreciate the show that they are putting on for you. And right now it is a heck of a show. Derek Conley doing everything he can to win this race. Logan Helton also doing everything he can to win the race. Logan Helton has a championship on the line to try and pull this win off and be one of our final 4 drivers. You heard it from Cyborg, our number cruncher. Just where everyone sits right now. Some of them playing the long game. A couple of them really looking like they're in need of a win. One of those being Rick Sebrands. He is well down the running order and in a must-win situation.
And now that we talk about, some of the drivers, chase contender, the only one that's really in bad hopes right now is Travis Elliott of the 51. Give you an update. He's 1 lap down, and he's actually not in the position for the lucky dog right now. David Booth is, and he's about 2 or 3 cars ahead of him. So it looks like Travis Elliott's going to need some work here to try to get around David Booth with somewhat car he has. I know it's somewhat damaged, that 51 is, but he needs to try to get above him so that way he can get that lucky dog spot.
Not sure if the 63's plan is to go for this extra bonus point here. I don't know if that's the strategy that he should be taking right now. I think the way that things go south is he gets caught in a wreck or he has some bad pit strategy. And I think both of those things are possible if you're leading and Derek Conley's right behind you, man, because Derek loves the push. And I don't know. I think I would just want to minimize my variance if I was the 63, but that's why he's in Road to Pro 3rd split, and I'm sitting here talking on Mondays.
All right, so Logan Helton out in front. The 63 in control of the field. A few drivers trying to work that outside lane, but for the most part, everyone tucked down to the inside. That gives me green flag pit stop vibes.
Yes, it does. I want to say probably within the next 3 or 4 laps, you're going to be seeing these drivers come down pit lane. You said lap 63 was the last pit, and then you said we get about 18 laps of fuel. So I want to say probably a lap 79, maybe you'll see these guys go down, and that's pushing it. You might even see some of these guys go down as of right now, maybe even FSR. You never know.
Well, I think we said before there with the situation when they went green on 66, meaning 35 laps of green, they can't really short pit this. If they're doing 17 or 18, they're really going to make sure they can pit, lap 83, 84 if they can, to try and save some for a green-white checkered. I don't think anyone's going to try and get cute and pit on lap 81 or 82. I think it's going to be really crowded around the exact same time.
Bob Lacavera in the 5, Les Levy in the 62, the 77 of David Booth, and the 27 of Sean Stevens. Sorry, had a Lex Dixie moment, almost said 72. 4 cars working the outside lane, everyone else down on the inside. David Booth in the 77, first car 1 lap down. He does have a little bit of a lead over the 51 of TJ Elliott. Booth would love to get back on the lead lap. Gonna need a caution to do it. This race has been relatively caution free. Only 1 caution in the final stage here so far. Logan Helton, one of those drivers, kind of would probably like to see this thing play out as he is out in front.
To your credit, KR, I think it's in the standings as 27, but the car says 72. So I don't think you're quite as dyslexic as you thought. I think there's just a little bit of a typo somewhere along the line there. So yeah, I think you're okay. It's not on you.
My brain fried for a second.
Now, I know he likes the 72 car in the other series, but I do think that he may have a 27 car that he ran when we were running the Gen 6 Cup cars for a while. For the Gen 7s, I don't remember, can't keep those straight. Oh, we've got some cars peeling off here.
A lot of cars coming down pit road. Logan Helton stays out. But Daniel Holloway, David Hunt, James Mayer, Casey Gilchrist, all on the pit road. And with
really
15 laps to go.
There. I would have thought all the chasers that had topped off would have been good to make it here an extra lap or two. But it seems not to be the case here. There's a lot of C's at the top of the standings now, but we'll see if those guys who pitted early here are going to have to pit again.
Yep, as that was looked like mostly Team Alliance, except Logan Helton and Vapid Yeet, all pit stops for them guys.
So Logan Helton going to lead the next group of drivers on the pit road. Bob Lacavera smacks the wall, gathers it back in. No one else collected in that one. A lot of brake lockup. The 12 of Robert Duvendak really carried that one in with that brake lockup. We'll see if he gets a penalty. But Logan Helton in the 63 on the pit road. That's going to give the lead to Hunter Reynolds in the 26. Reynolds going to have to make a pit stop here. Josh Milam, Ernie Williams, all in the same boat. But FSR, all 4 drivers from FSR staying out. We'll see how this plays out for them.
I tell you what, I hope some of those drivers are getting some tires, because, man, I know I've seen probably a lot of flat spots on most of those cars that try to enter that pit stop there.
I'd love the call from FSR here staying out. Like, those guys knew what's more important right now. Is it track position on lap number 85 at a place where we can go 3 wide and pass everybody? Or is it having an extra lap of fuel in the car for a green-white checkered potentially? Love the call from those guys. Those guys are usually short pitters. They know they're going to get past here probably, because it's only 4 of them going around the track right now. They might not have the lead at lap 86, but they're going to have an extra gallon in the tank there compared to their peers, and they might be able to go harder here at the end of the race.
Logan Helton and Derek Conley, excellent pit stops from these two. They have broken away from the pack, but they are quickly losing ground to Daniel Holloway, who is leading a big pack as the FSR guys are coming off the pit lane. down on the apron trying to get up to speed. They are losing ground, but you are right in that call, Peter, in that they're going to have a little bit of extra fuel here. They're going to be able to blend in, and if we go to 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, they should have enough to go the distance.
Oh, but they're 3 wide entering 3 right now. It's no one's playing safe anymore. Let's see if Seabrands can clear the 26. He can't, but pushes Mark Vega down to the bottom. Now you got Duvendak right in front of him there. Rick is done being patient. He has waited long enough here. He's going to start making his moves towards the front, and he's got a heck of a good car. Let's see if he can get there.
We got a huge run by the 21 and the 13 of Casey Gilchrist running around the outside now, trying to push Daniel Holloway. Looks like he's going to hop down in front of Logan Hilton. And the 13 of Casey Gilchrist is going to lead that top lane.
He's going to try his best, but we saw he has a little bit of damage from that pit entry earlier. I think his car is not good in the front. I think he needs a car in front of him to really keep up the speed. He's getting pushed by James there. Usually this is where that high lane can come to life a little bit. Let's see how much he pinches them down there and tries to side draft, because that 13 doesn't quite have the cleanest nose on it. I think that's going to hold up that outside line.
Casey Gilchrist in the 13, looking high, wide, and very handsome with that cleft palate that he's got going on the nose. But it's not holding him back too much.
All right, I just want to bump in here. We got 10 laps remaining. My favorite part of the segment. I know it's kind of late, but man, I want to try to get all these cars gathered back up before we figure out who are the ones to watch for tonight's finish here, and who you guys thinking about who's going to get in that victory lane spot when we come around, maybe lap 94 or maybe in overtime.
I'll tell you what, this 13, Casey Gilchrist, a rookie here in OP, showing his strength right now. As I mentioned earlier, made it by just a hair as one of our championship contenders, has taken full advantage of it. Here is one of the front runners of our championship contenders. Now he just needs to bring it on home, whether it's a win or a solid top 5 finish. He's just looking around at all the other chase contenders, and he needs to score a little bit better than them.
I like the 4. I think he's played his cards right. I know he's just got shuffled back in the middle a little bit here, but his car's in great shape. I know the FSR guys are going around the outside, but no one can push better than him, and I think he can push someone to the front and get around them on the last lap. What's the phrase that KR used? We don't want to tug on Superman's cape. Well, Superman's here, and I think he was changing in the phone booth earlier, but I think he's good to go now.
Those are 2 very solid picks from you guys. I think I'm going to go with the 63 of Logan the Kid Helton. He's been driving a remarkable race tonight. Hasn't been getting in any of these wrecks involved at all this race, so I'm thinking he has a fast repair left if the big one decides to happen here in the remaining laps. But he's been driving up towards the front and then leading a majority of this race. I'm not sure if he's got most of the laps, but I'm gonna go with the 63.
Do we know anything about the damage situation on the 7 car there? He shoved the 26 all the way to the front, and then the 26 cleared the field, immediately just left the 7. And I thought 91 and the 7 were going to keep going, and FSR's momentum would keep going, and then they just dropped off. And now you see Seabrands jumping in front there. He's got teammate James Mayer behind him, and the FSR guys, he got the 7 and 91 pinned behind him. Is that third line going to get moving? Casey certainly hopes so, because he just jumped up there too.
Yeah, the 13 making the move to the high side. Rick Seabrands up there, James Mayer as well. Those guys all letting it hang out. Ernie Williams Jr. in his favorite lane. Y'all better watch out for that 91 when he gets to the high side. But trouble!
Oh!
Hunter Reynolds involved. Big time trouble down the backstretch off of turn 2. Josh Milam involved. Several chase contenders getting a piece of this one. The 4 gets a chunk taken out of his nose, but he makes it through.
Huge hit for the 13 as well.
Yeah, and the 13 already used his fast repair. Not very good news for the 13 Casey Gilchrist fans out there.
Let's take a look at this one. Hunter Reynolds getting loose coming off the corner. Josh Milam involved. Ernie Williams getting a piece of this.
I think the only really chase contender that did not get involved was the 12 of Robin Duvendak. He hit the brakes hard, and I believe obviously Travis Elliott, since he's a lap down and off the pace.
And Logan Helton all the way out in front too. All right, he dodged most of that nonsense.
Yeah,
But yeah, it looked like everyone else, they all got a little chunk taken out there, and which that means it's going to be a lot of survival here right at the end, because you're going to have a bunch of cars and see who got how much damage, who still had their fast repair. I think the 26, the 7, and the 4 still did, but I'm not 100% certain. We'll see what happens.
So big time crash down the backstretch. Logan Helton in the 63. The kid finding a way to the front, playing his cards right. Now you got to see what is going to happen here with the order. Casey Gilchrist definitely has to come down pit road. Rick Seabrand's in the 4. He's got a little bit of damage, but can you give up track position if you're the 4 Rick Seabrand's right now? You do have some damage, and he is going to come down pit road.
He has to pit. It's not about track position. Second's not good enough. He needs a car that can win, and he's not going to be able to take a damaged car from that spot and get there. So I agree with his call to pit there.
All right, several drivers on the pit road. And man, oh man, Logan Helton, Robert Duvendak, 2 chase contenders to get through that one, and they're sitting inside the top 5.
I tell you what, the one driver I did not see to go down in there to get some optional damage is the 51 of TJ Elliott. I am really surprised he didn't go down and try to get some damage fixed on that race car, considering that front end of that car is a little banged up.
Was he able to get on pit road now? Was he slapped down? Wouldn't that have opened up this time by?
Yeah, that's true. Yep, he is a lap down, so he probably will go this time by.
Yeah. Some interesting names at the front, though, that didn't pit there. You see Duvendak. You see Dan Harrington right there in 5th place. Overstreet right there in 6th place. Lots of cars here with a chance. There's the guys coming off pit road now are starting to line up. It'll be interesting if they get to go back and do it some more, or if we're actually going to get a proper double file restart instead of 20 cars single file at the back.
All right, Fritchie. I've done it twice now. The first one was my fault. The second one is your fault. Casey Gilchrist on pit road, heavily torn up. No fast repairs available.
Yep. I forgot you did call the 13.
It looks like his night may not be done, but it definitely got a lot harder as the 13 is on pit road, and that car was very, very torn up. His chances all but gone for the 13 at Casey Gilchrist. Josh Milam in that boat as well. The 7 machine still sitting on pit road. But keep in mind, we still have 6 laps to go at this point. 2 attempts at a green-white checkered if we need it. And the picture may not be very clear right now. Things may look bleak. But if everyone gets taken out on the white flag lap, and let's say you're Casey Gilchrist and there's a 20 car pileup and you're the 21st car, still got a shot.
Yep. It looks like Casey and Josh are still going to try to fight their way out there with their damage that they have on their vehicles, as they got before the pace car before they can go a lap down. Just want to keep in mind that we have 18 drivers now total on the lead lap. We got there's only one driver that has a DNF, and that is the 24 of Tyler Miller. He went flying in the air and ended up calling the night early. And yeah, that's our remainder drivers. Like I said, we got 18 on the lead lap so far.
Guys, I'm actually not that. If I'm Josh Milam or I'm Casey Gilchrist, I need to get hyped up here because they're racing each other. Like, if something happens to Duvendak, like, someone out of these 5, Milam, Gilchrist, Duvendak, Elliott, Seabrand, one of those guys is making it. At least one. If you say that Hunter Reynolds, Ernie Williams, and Logan Helton are good and they're going to be fine, okay. But that's still one spot left there between those other 5 drivers. Duvendak's sitting pretty in that spot right now, but he's got 4 points to make up on Milam. If he doesn't get those 4 points, it could be anyone's game. It's going to be who has the better car and is in the in the right lane at the right time between the 7, the 13, to 12. The 51 and the 4 have to win the race. I think that's pretty cut and dry. But if I'm the 13, all I got to worry about is the 7 and the 12. And last week, the 12 was leading this thing late when he got pushed by his teammate and turned around with like 2 laps to go. So it's never over till it's over.
So if we get Duvendak, another number 12, and if he finishes 4 positions ahead or 5 positions ahead of, say, the 13 or the 7 of Josh Milan, he should be able to get that final 4 spot. Am I correct?
That is correct. He hasn't led a lap yet, though. The other 2 guys have led a lap. So if my math's correct, that should be fine. I mean, but that means if Duvendak leads a lap here because he hasn't led one yet, then he's only got to worry about 3 spots.
Well, he is starting or restarting second row outside, so leading lap isn't out of the question just yet for the 12. Gonna have 4 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Pace car getting out of our way. Logan Helton sitting pretty right now in the 63 as he's going to lead this field to the green flag. Derek Conley, I feel he is a man on a mission. He wants a win to prove that he maybe was eliminated from championship contention, but everyone else needs to be paying attention to that 28 because he is not going to go down quietly.
Yeah, the 12's his teammate too, so you know they're going to be working well together. I just hope the 12 realizes that he doesn't need to win this thing. He just needs to keep it up here in the top 5, and he's going to be in good shape compared to these other 2 guys.
An early move for 4 of Rick Seabrands as he jumps on the top side with along 2 of his teammates. Oh, there he goes, 3 wide. There he goes already with James Mayer right behind him, pushing that top lane. You guys think Logan Helton here would try to maybe help push that forward to the win here, knowing that maybe Logan Helton might be in the good?
I don't know. I'm not watching that at the moment. I'm watching what's happening with the 7 and the 13. The 7 doesn't seem to be able to keep up. The 13 definitely doesn't seem like he's going to be able to keep up. So unless something happens to the 12 here, he's really sitting pretty because the 7 car and the 13 car just don't have what it takes anymore.
All right, so the 13 really torn up. He is falling behind very quickly. The 4 Rick Seabrands. Oh, and Duvendak is going to go around. No caution just yet. Sean Stevens up into the track, and that will bring the caution out. And you're not going to believe this, but the 4 is out in front when the caution comes out.
Yes,
wow, what an incredible turn of events. That's going to mess everything up because now 7 and the 12 are driving right next to each other. The 12 got a little bit of damage there. The 4, if he wins, none of them are going to make it, right? Because he just probably changes the whole narrative there. And it means him and the top 3 in points will make it in there. So here we are, winding down the end of this race. The 4 is near the front. Let's see how it unfolds.
Caution coming out, changing this whole scenario. Let me back this up properly here.
2600 Reynolds just got a fast repair done. Ends up T-boning Aspen Belvin. Ends up getting a damaged race car as well. Right now, though, according to Pete's napkin math, though, he's sitting pretty good on top of the point standings.
It looks like Duvendak just slid up a little bit there. I'm not sure if he got a push from Overstreet or if he was trying to go around on the high side. But it looked like they were going to try and go 4 wide, but no one had really communicated that really well. And yeah, it's just a tough break there because Duvendak looked like he was really good on points. We'll see if his car is still in good shape. I don't know if this is a spot where he can take the track position and battle the 7 without taking some optional repairs first.
Oh no, I want to cut you guys off. We got bad news coming around the pace lap. Ernie Williams lost all steering in his car, ends up colliding the 04 of Mark Mann on the backstretch, and now they just got wrecked under the caution laps.
Well, that's not good for the 91.
Not good at all.
72 just disconnected as well.
27.
You get torn up in there? Oh, thank you. 27. Man, it's going to happen every time. I'm calling it by the color. I'm not calling it by the standings, but yeah. He was on the lead lap too. Unless he got really tore up there. The 12's leading him down pit road though, so he definitely is looking to get this car fixed up. The 7's coming down pit road too though, so those 2 guys who are fighting for this last spot, which will all be moot if Seabrands wins the race, are going to be staring at each other on pit road saying who's going to work on their car a little bit longer.
and we got three top drivers of Alliance team up in the front. You know, these two behind James Mayer and Logan Helton are going to try everything they can to push Rick Seabrands this win here.
It really unfolded nicely for him there. So here they are on pit road. Vega pulling off. Conley pulling off. Duvendak still sitting there. David Booth still sitting there. Here comes Les Levy. Let's see where they all end up, because Milam's still on pit road and Duvendak's still on pit road. I'm wondering if Josh had that many optional from the previous stop that he didn't get done, and if that's what he's getting worked on right now, because his car wasn't doing too bad. He just wasn't able to pass. He was one, and there he goes off pit road. He's going to leave well ahead of Duvendak here. We're going to see which of those guys is going to be able to finish.
Still a lot of damage though on that front end, so we'll see.
That had to be all the optional though, because the pace car's nowhere near him, right? Like that means he just didn't have anything else they would let him fix.
Not for sure, yeah.
All right, so this crash is going to push us into overtime. Our first green, white, checkered attempt coming up. The four Rick Seabrands, surrounded by his teammates for this restart. You heard the plan from Logan Helton. We got our stage 1 winner. He said, I'm out to win the stages and then have a good finish and try and get Rick Seabrands the win. That will give Alliance Motorsports 2 bullets, if you will, in the championship gun. So with that being said, what is Logan Helton's role here? Is he going to try and secure the win for the four Rick Seabrands? James Mayer there as well. Let's not count out the 26 Hunter Reynolds just yet. He's got a little bit of damage, but he's up in there to battle this out. Josh Milam, we already mentioned optional repairs done and over with, but that 7 still torn up. But you look at Ernie Williams, Robert Duvendak, Casey Gilchrist, they're not any better, and TJ Elliott still 1 lap down.
I'm going to be interested to see what that 26 does, because if he's going to be aggressive enough, that really helps the 7, right? Because if Rick Seabrands wins, Josh is out no matter what. But if Josh is able to stay even with Duvendak and Gilchrist here, and Hunter wins the race, then he's good. So I think you're going to see the team play out, even though these guys aren't even anywhere together on the racetrack. You're going to see the 26 really try to get to the front here, and the 28 with them as well, because you know they work together so well as an alliance that I think they're going to try and do their best to win the race to make sure that the 4 doesn't steal one of the spots.
I don't know. It's just there's a lot of front end damage on that 26 Hunter Reynolds. We'll see what happens on this restart here, but yes, that would disrupt some things. I would hope that 26, that's the plan, is trying to hurry up and disrupt that win for the number 4.
All right, so you got to pick somebody else here, KR?
Nope.
We're starting to run out of cars, man, because right after you started wrapping up the 27/72, he's not even in here anymore.
You can't pay me enough to do no.
I like the pace car to lead him here out of turn 4 personally.
It sounds like you need to go to
great. Now the pace car is going to crash. We're going to lose the whole session. It's over.
Sounds like you need to go get a lottery ticket.
Sounds like I don't need to. I'll tell you what, if Casey Gilchrist in the 13 comes away with the win, I'll go buy a lottery ticket.
Goodness, man. Look at these cars in the back. They're just so tore up, but they know how much each position matters. Like, every single point matters so much. This 12, this 13, this 7, the 91. Getting ready to go green.
We are the pace car pulling on the pit road. Rick Seabrands for the first time tonight, leading the field to the green flag. The 95 of James Mayer on his outside. Teammate behind him, teammate beside him, the 4 of Rick Seabrands in a must-win situation, putting himself in position to win this race. Green flag comes out, and away we go. The 46 of David Overstreet up there in the outside of row number 2. Daniel Holloway right behind him, and Rick Seabrands gets a heck of a start, and Logan Helton stayed glued right to him.
Yeah, as they come around the backstretch now, damaged cars are trying to fight each other on the way back. 21 makes a huge slide job move down on the inside. Now it's a 3-car team alliance push on the inside lane. Actually 4, because Mark Mann's behind Holloway. And looks like they are definitely wanting to push Rick this win here.
I don't know if I like that play from them. I think I liked them better when they were spread out. They were blocking all the lines. It was like we knew an alliance guy was going to be at the front, and then we can kind of control the pace and make sure Rick finishes first. Now you got all your eggs in the bottom line basket. I think a line can come together here with this green-white checkered. Interesting to note, the 7 is losing the field, and the 12 is staying with it. So if the 12 can make up a few positions here, that might be enough if the 4 doesn't win.
Rick Seabrand's in the 4. Oh, Mark Mann gets turned. More contact, but this is the final lap. The caution is not going to fly no matter what. Rick Seabrand's going to try and bring this home. Logan Helton on his back bumper. We heard that call from Logan earlier. Said he wanted to win the stages and then help Rick get into the championship, and this is playing out the way they had it planned. Rick Seabrand's coming off of turn number 4. Logan Helton on his back bumper. Helton not even going to try. Rick Seabrand's is going to get it done in a must-win situation, and he crosses the line to make it official. He is in to the championship 4.
Superman has done it again.
We can call this guy the comeback man, because both cutoff races he has. Now, this is insane.
So Rick Seabrand's picks up the win. Logan Helton finishes second. James Mayer in third. Alliance Motorsports podium finish. Talk about teamwork coming together at the end of this one. Heck, you could even throw in Daniel Holloway in the top 5. David Overstreet, a solid finish, finishing in 4th place here. But what an outstanding job by Alliance Motorsports to get Logan Helton and Rick Seabrand's into the championship.
Wow. Ooh. This is
Anyone
insane.
else exhausted after that? That was wild.
Yes, this is absolutely wild. Crazy way to end the finish of the round of 8. Gonna be whoever the napkin math is and the confirmed official results for the top 4 drivers to make it in. It's going to be an exciting one, and especially since not only are we going to be at Daytona, so this is going to be awesome to see next week.
All right, so let's post-race show kicked off, and let's go ahead and start by talking to our race winner, the driver of the 4 machine, Rick Seabrand's. You got your ears on, my friend?
Yeah, 10-4, loud and clear.
Holy smokes, Rick, that has got to be the definition of how to go by the playbook.
I tell you what, it's just such a credit and such a privilege to race with so many good teammates, man. It's all a credit to those guys, man. They had my back all night, and they were there for me. We really didn't even talk much about it during the week and getting like a strategy or a game plan together or anything, and we just showed up tonight. We kind of threw some ideas together, and it just everything worked out for the best, man. This is pretty cool, man. I can't thank all my teammates enough, all the fans at home watching, and yeah, I'm kind of shocked I won actually.
Yeah,
well,
that was crazy, Rick. I just want to congratulate you and look at you blowing your engine out there at Victory Lane.
I know it.
Just the strategy that you had all night. Tell us about it. I mean, we seen you at the back of the pack almost the entire night.
Well, we came in. My initial strategy going in tonight was just to ride in the back and not even worry about stage points. Kind of after, last week that iRacing glitch kind of when it helicoptered us across the track there, that really put us in a bad spot for this race. So I think we was in a must-win situation, and yeah, we just I don't know. The chase hasn't really been that good to us. Actually, we were kind of messed up in that round of 13 too. But yeah, just super fortunate to get the track position at the right time. Had enough fuel and good committed teammates. That's what it took.
Walk us through that last restart there. I saw a lot of you guys. You were taking up all the lines there for a second. I was like, oh, good. The Alliance guys are going to control the pace here. Rick will be the one that leads them to whatever flag they want him to. Then everyone jumped on the bottom. Did you guys really think that the bottom line was going to be the place to go? Before the wreck happened and all, were you guys confident that you were going to be able to make it work from down there?
No, I don't think there was any confidence at all in that last lap. I mean, in that last restart, anything could happen in that green-white checkered there. I mean, the way that we took that lead was up there by that wall, up in that third lane, and it just seemed like there was just such a boost up there. So we was fully expected somebody to get up there and make a nice charge, but it just didn't happen. And yeah, just super fortunate to bring it home, be in the right place, right time.
All right, Rick. Well, you bring away a race win and sealing yourself into the Final Four. How do you prepare for this championship race next week?
Well, it's been a couple seasons since this Alliance Motorsports Yeti team actually raced for a championship, and it's unfortunate because they deserve it every season. But yeah, this will be our first time we've ran for one, and it's such a privilege to even be a part of the chase over here. But to race for a championship it's super meaningful, and it's super difficult. The competition. I know I'm not even sure if the points wise who else made it, but it's going to be super challenging. Anything can happen in that final race, man. It's going to be crazy.
All right, Rick. Well, man, nice job out there tonight. Any other shout outs, thank yous you'd like to give?
First off, I have to thank Logan for the tremendous push on that green-white checkered. That was a great job by him. Jim up on that high line pushing me to get that track position we needed. And Mark and Daniel, all my teammates for all the help out there tonight, all the fans, you guys, and all the OP admins for doing what they do.
All right, that is your race winner, Rick Seabrans, getting it done here tonight. Once again, congratulations, Rick.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. Rick Seabrans pulling it out once again in another must-win situation. But he had some help, and one of those drivers who was a big help to him, that is your second place finisher, the 63 of Logan Helton. And Zach, this one's all you, bud.
Logan Helton, man, you talked to us earlier about the strategy that you had after your stage one win. Looked like it happened all in your favor, did it not?
It worked about as perfect as you can plan for a race that is probably one of the most is going to be one of the most hectic races of the season. I can't believe it actually worked out like we wanted it to. It was just some really good teamwork at the end there with Alliance Motorsports. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, finishing second feels like a win for what we did tonight, and I just had a ton of fun racing with Rick, Mark, Jim, and Daniel all night long.
Logan, talk me through the last stint there that you had. You were leading on the late in the race there, and you had Derek Conley pushing you. He's probably one of the more aggressive but under control pushers you have, and I know that people were worried about fuel and all that stuff too. Did you feel confident up there leading the field? Because I felt like with your point situation there, I'd want to be a little bit more conservative, but then again, that's why I'm in the booth, and that's why you're driving on Mondays as great as you've been.
Yeah, I felt confident up front. I knew Derek, he knows how to push, and I was confident in his ability to keep it under control, and I was confident in my ability to keep it under control, and I was hoping a caution would not come out in the moment, but now that I look back at it, I'm glad it did, because then it put our team in a position to really help each other out. So but yeah, I wanted to be up front. If I'm anywhere in the top 5, I want to be in the lead, and once I get in the lead, I'm pretty comfortable.
Tell you what, yeah, and it all worked out in your favor, like you said, and even with that caution, your caution awareness night was incredible compared to previous weeks that you've had. And then it seemed like to get involved in any big wrecks tonight, so that was good awareness from you. I just wanted to go out and say that that heck of a second podium finish, and good job for Team Alliance. Any shout outs and thank yous you want to give?
Just thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Alliance Motorsports were just working together so well tonight. We did super good. Like, it was just insane. Good win to Rick, and I'm so glad he can get into the Final Four. I'm pretty sure I'm in. I don't know for sure, but I think I am.
Dude, you're way good.
Okay, that's good.
Way
That's good. Okay, and thanks to OP for putting on the league. Thanks to all my family friends that watched the race, and to my friend Kaylee for watching. And I think I got everyone.
Well, we were happy calling this race, and we're going to be more than excited for next week's race with you and Rick and the Championship 4 calling that race as well. So have a good night, and awesome for your second podium finish.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, that is your second place finisher, Logan Helton, getting it done here tonight. But now let's move on to our final step of the podium. That is the 95 of James Mayer. And Peter, you caught up with him.
James, how's it going, man? You got your ears on?
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, what a team-dominated finish there, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, we had some team orders. Obviously Rick needed the win, so I'm happy to see him get that win. And it's becoming a team sport here, so we need all the help we can get.
We got a couple, points-motivated answers from the guys that we just talked to, first and second. But I want to hear from you. That last restart, you guys are all up the front there. Did you guys have a plan? Like, were you guys thinking, let's get to the bottom, or let's meet in the middle to the top? And then did you follow that plan, or did it just kind of end up a little bit different? Because you guys had great position there for the green, white checkered.
Well, the one prior to the green, white checker, it was obviously we had to get Rick to the front. So it was, let's get lined up as fast as we can and get on the high side. It fell apart a little bit, but eventually able to get Rick up there, and that caution came out, but it happened to be where we ended up being when the caution came out. But yeah, the goal was to get him up front.
Yeah, I was curious as to whether or not the getting in a line play on the last restart was the safer one versus let's all block all the lines and then Rick could just block us sort of thing. But
yeah,
these guys are all super duper aggressive. It's probably going to lead to absolute terror, and that's why you guys got multiple drivers here in the Final Four. Well done on your part there. At what point in time in the race did you feel like that I got a top 5 potential here? Because there was so many crashes and so much carnage there. I felt like it was a complete crapshoot.
Yeah, you have to have your lucky horseshoe on you to avoid some of the madness. It happens, but it's part of the racing here. I feel bad for turning Dave there. That one was completely my fault. I hope he rebounded a little bit, but I was back in lap 60-ish somewhere. But it felt good all race, avoiding some of the stuff and trying to stay up towards the front, play the fuel mileage game.
All right, well, next week you're going to have twice as much work as you did this week because you're going to have 2 guys you're going to be trying to push while, most of the field isn't going to have anyone to worry about. There's only going to be 4 guys in there, 2 Alliance Motorsports guys, 2 FSR guys. What do you think your chances are there?
Sounds like 50-50. It's every week's a battle with all the teams. So I think if we run our race and keep it clean, we always have a chance there at the end.
Awesome. We put together a great race tonight. Thanks for talking with us there. Great job on the podium finish, and we look forward to see what you do next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
James Mayer, our third place finisher here tonight. And there you have it, folks. And Peter, we're going to run through the results. So while we run through the results, why don't you double check your numbers here?
Got it.
And let's go ahead and kick that off. I'll go through all of this here. And Rick Seabrands picks up the win. Logan Helton finishes second. Third, James Mayer. David Overstreet in 4th. Rounding out your top 5 is Daniel Holloway. Derek Conley finishes in 6th. 7th goes to Mark Vega. Dave Hunt finishing in 8th. 9th, Robert Duvendak. 10th going to Josh Milam. Mark Mann finishing 11th. 12th goes to Jimmy Reynolds. Sean McCara finishing in 13th. Ernie Williams 14th. 15th going to Casey Gilchrist. Hunter Reynolds 16th. 17th place going to Dan Harrington. Aspen Belvin in 18th. 19th place, TJ Elliott. David Booth 20th. 21st, Les Levy. Bob Lacavera 22nd, 23rd Sean Stevens, Randall Cobb 24th, and Tyler Miller 25th. So with all that being said, Peter, what do you got? What do you think unofficially, who are our championship four?
Our championship four, my prediction here, headed to Daytona. Rick Seabrand's obviously locked in with the win. Logan Helton, tons of points tonight. 10 stage points in stage 1, 5 stage points in stage 2, led a lap, finished second place. He's a lock. Unless these are wrong, I'm pretty confident in these answers, though. I think Hunter Reynolds, 3 points to the good. Tied with teammate Ernie Williams, 3 points to the good. Meaning Josh Milam missing out by just 3 points. Robert Duvendak missing out by just 6 points. Casey Gilchrist missing out by 12. Travis Elliott missing out by 25. It looks like our final four is going to be 2 Alliance Motorsports guys in the 4 and the 63, and 2 FSR guys in the 26 and the 91. And I know those guys are great, but the rest of their teams are just as awesome. And I think it's going to be such an incredible event to see next week, where you see all of these guys working together and all the strategy and alliances and working together and who to work with and who not to work with. It's going to be quite the show.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Peter. And Zach, I didn't throw you under the bus for a turn it up, but I'm going to throw you under the bus for a signing off.
Of course you are. Well, I'd say tonight was one heck of a race. A good way to finish the round of 8. Talladega is always an exciting one to go to for the exit of round of 8 like we had tonight. And then happy to see the championship 4 next week at Daytona. Daytona is always a good place to go watch an end of a season, and it's going to be great to watch. Which up here in the booth, we just want to thank all you guys for coming out and watching. We thank every single one of you, even for the like and the comments. We try to interact with most of you as we can, and if it's not for you guys, we wouldn't be here. So we appreciate every single one of you guys being here.
All right. Well, that being said, guys, y'all have a good night, and we look forward to the final race next week at Daytona, where we crown a champion. So until then, have a good night.
Warning, the following stunts are performed by idiots or under the supervision of stupider idiots. If you attempt to reenact any of these idiotic stunts you will see, you will be left with idiotic scars. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Alex Green. Welcome to OP Racing.